Learn from their example how the best bloggers in the world are creating totally unbeatable content.
Ricky?
Yeah?
You can actually just walk normal. I'll slow it down in post.
Oh, should I go?
Why don't you just tell us what you're doing?
All right, sounds good. At the beginning of January, over 1,600 of you signed up to see if you could be the ultimate content warrior. Now, a content warrior is someone who can create such good content that it totally defeats their competition. And we at Income School have personally judged over 2,500 entries over the last 6 weeks. It's been a lot of work, but we have narrowed it down to 4 finalists who really are content warriors. These people are creating such good content, their competitors just can't keep up. And we're going to show you exactly what it is that they're doing that makes their content so good.
We're here to present to you some really cool nuggets that you can implement in your content that we can see in these 4 finalists as we're judging them. So here's the first article. This is on beekeepingfornewbies.com. The answer target is weak. Answer targets are critical to winning 2021 SEO. Google is making featured snippets, just putting the content right there on the answer page. And so if you write a paragraph in your article in a way that matches that, you can get to jump the line of all the organic searches to get there. So let's look at it.
The best varroa mite treatment is one that fits your sensibilities, synthetic versus organic, and your hive-specific circumstances. Da-da-da-da. So, first issue right here, that is a long way of saying it depends. It's not going to win a Google snippet that way. You have to give a definitive answer.
We actually joke about that. This is not an isolated incident.
No, it's everywhere.
We see this constantly when people write an answer target. They just find fancy ways of saying, well, it depends on this and this and this and this and this. And it's like, okay, I knew that.
Right.
Help me make the decision.
And then he goes on, we recommend 3 products that meet these needs is that across the different seasons. Formic Pro, Mite Away, Quick Strips, and Oxalic Acid. Okay, which one?
You read that whole thing and you're actually not any closer to knowing what to do. Now later in this post, as a great example of doing independent, original research, he actually surveyed his audience of beekeepers to see what they did. And later he says, 48% of them said this is their favorite treatment for this. Let's see that kind of thing right from the get-go. Because if I'm in the store and I'm like, I don't know which one I pick, and it's like, so many factors, which one's like the most popular,
Right.
That's what I want to see.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of really good things happening in this blog post, again, with the original research. I love this. At the very, 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 very end, I wish this was at the beginning. This is the decision tree. Now, he tells you at the beginning that he's going to give it to you, but it's not till the end. This is what I came for. Yeah. At the beginning, he's got this featured image that shows the very top.
And so we're like, wait, what do you do?
Yeah.
And then we find it later on.
You find out later on. And shortly before that, he's got this huge table, right, with all of these different products. Well, by the time I get to the table, I haven't been told how to pick which one, so the data is overwhelming, not to mention the fact that there's so much there. And it's too much information on a mobile device. It will be totally
That's 2 tables right there.
Illegible. Exactly. Split it up into multiple tables, but also help me make the decision on which one I probably want. Give me the caveats so I know if I should pick one of the second or third options. And then in a table, show me the details.
But it was a really cool idea to have a decision tree. I think that's something that a lot of us need to be doing in our blog posts. So there's another tip. When you're writing a blog post and it's a complicated thing, make a cool decision tree for them. That's a great way to add extra value.
Also, as I scan through this blog post, I can do just that. I can scan through the blog post. It's formatted very well. It's not overly done with too much bolding and stuff. Got great subheadings, great amount of bulleted lists, these little call-out things.
Scannable, but it makes you still want to read every word.
Exactly. Overall, this is a very good blog post that I'm going to score really well.
I'm going to give this one a high score. Now, his video did exhibit quite a few problems. In the first couple seconds, there's some wind noise, and then we see some really shaky kind of video going on. There's kind of a lot of headroom in some of the video. But those are all more of the technical things. I think the video overall was good, but I think maybe the pace of content delivery was a little slow, that I wanted to get things out. But it's winter, it's a beekeeping website, and so we made really good use of B-roll to still produce content year-round.
I would go check out the video if you have interest in seeing how he did this. I felt like in watching the video, if this is something I want to learn how to do, I can do it now.
Oh yeah,
based
this is good.
only upon the content. I just wish that the pace had moved a little bit quicker. That's all.
Now we're to the second entry, and here you're going to see just a really well done blog post. If you're new, if you're starting your blog and you just want to know kind of what you need to be working for, go read this. This is what we're trying to produce. I picture myself booking a cruise. There's a checkbox that says, do you want to prepay gratuities? And I'm like,
gratuities?
I don't know. And I go Google this. This is exactly what I would want to find. It has clear answer targets, tables, bolded answer paragraphs. It just directly gives you the question. Every time as I was reading through and I started to wonder, what about, and then that would be the next paragraph.
There is also just some, again, a use of original research. She's done some polls on Twitter and she just screen grabs it. It's like, here is the poll and the result of the poll. There's, like you said, a lot of great tables, some quotes from people who she's asked the question or whatever, and she gets a response from them showing their specific experience with a specific cruise line. There was one place where I took slight issue with this right here. She says, some cruise lines have discounted rates for children and may not charge for babies. And then immediately after, she has a table.
It's funny when we get a notification during a video because mine is septic getting pumped tonight.
And mine's like, hey, take your medicine. I promise I will. I won't miss it. But then the table immediately after doesn't show me what the lower rates are. So she says, sometimes you'll get a discount for kids. Okay, what's the rate for the kids on these cruise lines? I would have loved to see that. But all in all, again, very scannable, lots of little call-out boxes and stuff, charts, lots of original research, but more importantly, like you said, just answers my questions thoroughly. Like, I didn't really know this was a thing. I've not been a cruiser. Now I know.
I did take another issue with the title of the blog post. I don't think a lot of people wonder, like, hey, walk me through this step by step. How do I give a tip? I don't think that's quite the question, and I don't think that was the focus of this article. The focus of the article was more on cost and some of just how it works, but it was mostly about the cost. And I think that's the bigger search phrase. So I think the title should be tweaked a little bit. A simple step-by-step guide for first-time cruisers is probably not it. I think it's more in the line of just, how much are cruise gratuities and how to navigate it. Something
Cruise
like that.
gratuities, a cost breakdown.
Yeah.
By cruise line, or just something like that lets me know, well, that's what I'm getting when I come here. Absolutely. All right, let's go to her video.
Emma's video was so good because it passes the 6-second test. You just go right now. Go to any 6 seconds in there. It doesn't even matter where. And you start 1, 2, and we're boom. There's already a cut. We're seeing different
3,
things.
4.
Now we're back to her 2, 3,
5, 6.
Oh, there we go. It's a 6.5-second test.
But yeah, within about 6 seconds, like something visually is going on here. And I don't know. I love the story that you told.
This video, I subscribe to a bunch of Project 24 members' channel because I like to give them a little encouragement just as I see when somebody posts in the community. And I was subscribed to this channel, as all of them here. And when this was posted, I didn't know this was going to be our contest entry. I was watching it on a Saturday and I thought, I'll show some support and like and stuff. And I started watching it, and like 8 minutes later, I just realized, like, whoa, I'm not even interested in cruises. Why am I watching? And that's what happens when you have something that's visually and auditorially, audibly, it's just interesting. It just keeps you going and says, like, well, what's the next cruise going to be? I love at the end of each segment when it's obvious that she's kind of wrapping up one ship before she talks to the net about the next one. She shows on the screen, look at that. New ship in 5, 4, 3. So every time she senses a moment where somebody may be closing out their session, she puts something on the screen to keep you there for another
That's
seconds.
just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because again, once you start giving that winding down speech,
they're gone.
People are leaving. All right, the next one is from moneyrelease.co.uk. Financial topics aren't generally all that interesting, right? For most people. I think we both took pretty significant issue once again
all
with
four
the
of
answer
us.
target. Really, all four of us.
And Nate as well.
Yeah, we did have them give us their feedback as well. At first glance, this answer target looks okay as you look through it. But really, it just kind of covers lots of little tangents. The most popular equity release, a lifetime mortgage, is available from age 55 and requires no monthly payments.
And so I was thinking at that point, like, wait, what?
What?
So
What
like,
is age?
okay, so I'm getting equity from a home. It's a HELOC. And then it's like, but you have to be 55. And I was like,
The HELOC for seniors.
Right.
And wait, the money borrowed and interest charges repaid when I pass away.
Out of what? Right.
Yeah,
It's just, it just, at the end, we all read about halfway through the article to were like, okay, I get it. It just felt like it was maybe somebody used to selling this who wasn't, who was kind of skipping over details. What we really just wanted it to say is, equity release is for people who want to take value out of their home, and then when they pass on and their home is sold or their estate has money, then it's paid. So it really was a pretty simple thing. It's not that complicated, but
Right.
It took us halfway through the article till we got it.
So I gave this article a really good score. As I read through it, and I did read all the way through it, I felt like, man, that really covered the topic. I feel like I know exactly what this is and who it's for and how I would use it. And then we started discussing it, and I realized the issue. And I had the same issue as I read it. It took me about halfway through the article before it clicked.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fully.
a lot of people.
I mean, I kind of got it, but not fully.
I'm a pretty bright guy, and still it was like, okay. And so it took that much time, and I think that a lot of people are going to be lost, and they're going to bounce before they get that far.
Here's another tip that I think a lot of you are doing who are trying to do a good job on your blog posts. Is we were talking about this back and forth, and you said, I love how we used custom images to explain things. And I was like, what custom images? And we went back to the post. They're helpful, actually.
Yeah, they have a little summary from the very beginning.
But
Here's
visually,
eligibility.
doesn't that look like an ad?
Yeah.
And so your eye just is like reading.
Skip.
You have to be super careful with custom images that they don't look like an ad. Don't design these on Canva because it's gonna look like an ad.
Right. Look, I mean, the stock image here, totally looks like what I would see in an ad. You've got, I understand the reason for watermarks and stuff.
It helps you to know it was the site it's on, but it does.
Makes it look like an ad. We get down to this one here, and it doesn't look like an ad. Why? Because 85% of the image is covered with the information, and the image that's behind it is just there. It's kind of to make it visually interesting, but it's just a background.
We went down to the next one, and it really looked like an ad.
Yeah.
It has this big lifetime warranty. It just looks like an ad, and people overreacting. So just be very careful. Custom images gotta look authentic.
Absolutely.
Now, he also did a video, and he made huge progress in his videos as he submitted over time. At first, they were echoey. You can kind of hear here, just was harder to listen to, and he felt very automaton as it was presented.
Which is super common. We saw a lot of people who were brand new to video in this challenge, who their first videos they looked scared. Scared to death.
In fact, it's funny you mentioned that. So on the previous challenge, I remembered his because I judged his on the previous challenge. He gave it, and he at least started a little bit to talk with his hands and had some expressions, but it was still just too buttoned up, And then after the video, he had to use a secret word in there, whatever. So he just gave us a little message and say, hey, thanks for my contest entry. As soon as he started, he was just saying, oh, that was my entry, thanks guys. It was just like, where was that guy? I want that guy in
the whole
video.
Yeah.
Turn off presentation, Andy, and turn on Andy.
Right, exactly.
That's what we wanted to see.
Absolutely. I want to show you guys the intro, the hook of this video. The hook is that segment of the video that's the very beginning where we want to grab people, right? It's that fish hook, right? You want to hook them on and you want to keep them on the line.
And lest you think this is a video technique, this absolutely applies the same amount to blogging.
Absolutely.
Hi everyone, it's Andy here from Money Release. Today I've got a really cool video for you. It actually came about from one of our morning Zoom meetings. I was having a chat with some of the other staff, and Carol actually mentioned to me that she's been speaking with a few people recently that have kind of asked for the sort of fundamentals of equity release.
Okay, so...
It's not much of a hook.
Yeah, I know, and it's like, we had a meeting, a Zoom meeting, and one of my coworkers said, I mean, it just is like...
It's just not... Well, I've got to watch this, honey. Give me a minute.
So, a better version of that information, right? A better version might be something like, I talk to clients every day, and it always surprises me how many just want to know the basics of what an equity release even is. So today I'm going to break it down for you in simple terms. You're going to know exactly what it is, if that's what you need, and how to get one.
Yeah, it tells you more of what you're going to get than this irrelevant Zoom conversation that wasn't interesting. But you could level it up yet again. And the next level that we thought of
always got a one
is, yeah, right. No, we thought of this together. Would be like, I have customers coming in all the time. Last week, one came in who she was just out of retirement money. And I showed her how she could take the equity out of her home, stay in her home the rest of her life, and never repay the loan until after she's passed. We could take some of that value when the home sells. And it totally changed her retirement. And now you're like, that's possible?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I want to know more about that. It's a very, very different thing. And so, something to think about with hooks.
You got to think about what's in it for the watcher of the video, and how do we make sure they're going to watch. It's really something we talked about when we're making this video. It's what's in it for me. When we talked about this, we're like, these people aren't interested in those people's blog posts.
Right.
They don't care. And so you'll notice throughout the video, constantly we keep saying, here's a tip for you guys. So it's just keeping that in mind. It's such a simple tweak to your approach, but makes all the difference.
That shifted your mindset will totally change the way that you approach it. Okay, so this is the fourth one.
It's in Dutch.
It is in Dutch.
It's auto-translated.
Yeah, it's auto-translated. So if you see some little issues there, that's why. But starting off, look at that headline. 100 cleaning tips.
Ricky, I am actually starting a new business. Do you know what it's called? Jim Harmer Business.
Very good.
It's just like it's so 100 cleaning tips. Are they for going faster? Are they clever tips? Are they to get your home done in an hour, or from a pro? Or give me something to sex this up a little bit.
And along those lines, it's not just about the headline. That flows into the content, right? So what we've got here basically, now it is broken down with a table of contents into room by room, basically. But even so, as I scroll through here, it's just like tip after tip after tip. Some of them are pretty ninja. They're pretty awesome. Things I didn't know, absolutely. And some
Others
of them
are filler. Use a long broom handle so it doesn't hurt your back when you reach.
Exactly.
It's just like, wear cleaning gloves to not hurt your hand. So if this post were 51 tips and we just kept the really cool stuff, this would be super pinnable on Pinterest.
Absolutely.
But as it is, I think it had enough fluff that it hurts. The image for each one is really cool.
Here's something that I did feel as I read through this. I felt like she has actually done every one of these. The images help with that, but also, they're only a paragraph long, but still, I just felt like, man, this girl knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
And so that's really good.
On her video, it was actually the same thing that I would consider a problem. First of all, she's great. I watched several of her videos during the competition. She's a good creator. But on this one, I did feel like there were segments, sometimes lengthy, 20 seconds, where it was just like, why am I watching this? Yeah. She's making her bed, and it's fast forward with all scratchy sound.
It's still going. It would be nice at this point if the scratchy sound wasn't there and she was just doing a little voiceover talking to me.
anything
about what she's going, anything, even like, you know, I like to.
My husband never makes the bed, so you know, just anything, you know.
Yeah, at this point, I'm sorry, I'm out. I know some people love to watch videos of people cleaning, but usually that person is talking, there's some kind of voiceover, or they're talking to you while they clean. It's not really my thing, but for a lot of people, they really like doing that, and that's cool. But I think, again, those segments right there, I think you're likely to lose people.
As we watch through this whole competition, if I could just distill this down into what really you guys need to be working on in order to become great content creators, I would just ask you to do this one thing. Go look at really, really, really well done content. Go look from people who are succeeding and who are getting traffic. I mean, that's why we're public with all of our sites. Not that they're perfect examples, but they're making money, and so something's happening, right? Like, just go read a bunch of those blog posts, see how they're formatted, see how they're worded, see how what the subheadings are, get the idea of the search analysis. And then, of course, not that you're copying the content or even the search analysis, but you're getting the idea of like, this is what it looks like, and just follow it. So many of the things I saw in this competition were just like, they tried to do something really out there, really cool to win, and it ended up just hurting it. I just saw that principle so many times.
Absolutely, and judging, again, literally thousands of entries.
I tried to have a really cool looking blog, so I went and found out my own theme design, and it looks amazing to somebody who's new. And then we look at it and we're like, oh, that's an SEO nightmare, or this is going to kill your speed, or the user experience on mobile is terrible. You don't know what you don't know yet, and so just stick with the recipe that works for you. So after all of this, we came down to the judging, and we're about to have a call with the winner. But first, you've got to see the final scores, and then we'll get to that call. Hey, Emma.
Hi.
Hi, Emma.
Well, it's good to talk to you in like real time for once.
Yeah, this is strange. This is exciting.
We did go through and score everything pretty thoroughly here, and the winner is...
Emma, you won! You are the 2021 Ultimate Content Warrior.
Thank you. Wow. Amazing. Thanks.
That's a very proper reaction, Emma.
I have no words. You've shut me up completely.
Would you prefer your curry in dishes or in a barrel?
I haven't thought about that yet. I'm completely lost for words. It was really hard work. By the end of that, you made us work for that. My goodness. That was a lot of late nights and early mornings, but yeah, thank you. Ugh.
So what are you going to do with $5,000?
Well, I have resigned from my day job. I'm not quite full-time finisher yet, but I needed a kick to leave, and they kind of gave me a kick to leave, so I have left. So this works perfectly for that. I've got 1 month left to go, and then this is a great start.
All right, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
I've wanted to for quite a long time, but with 2020, I didn't really think 2020 was a good time, but cruising is coming back now. Things are looking up for the first time in a long time, so I think this is the time. Take the jump, and it'll be fine.
We're so excited for you. It's been fun to watch your progress on everything you've been working on, and just I think 2021 is going to be a very, very good year for your business.